Welcome to the second Perfect Agent speedrun. Today I'm doing DataDyne research investigation and the time I set is 5 minutes and 5 seconds. That's not going to be your target time though, I've done it a little quicker. Your target time is 6 minutes 25 seconds. In other speedrun guides you might see people immediately going left and maybe even letting the cutscene play a little. I go right, and that is to turn on this console, and this allows you to open up a hatch later on in the level. There are two things that make this level difficult. The first is getting the maintenance cycle right. There are cleaning robots throughout this level and you are really at their mercy when they decide to open doors. You have to be there at the right time. The second thing is there are quite a number of enemies in this level, so just getting past them or killing them. I think I've got one of the best routes in this video, at least it's the safest route. So if you more or less follow what I do, it shouldn't be too difficult. You should be able to follow my route. That door just behind me closed, the maintenance door. You'll notice that I try my best to get the cam spy as far to the door as possible, and all these guards will actually follow the cam spy if it's done right. That doesn't really matter though, don't worry too much about that. If they don't do that, just you have to kill them all anyway. So I take the picture now, and this is the hatch coming up that I go down. This hatch can actually be a pain to open sometimes, so and I didn't mean to actually switch back to my cam spy there, that was a mistake. And in this run I actually do make a few mistakes. Firstly, I had a problem with my controller where my battery powered controller died and I started to use my wired controller, and I found I just couldn't speedrun with that. It was almost as if there was something wrong with the strafe, and you'll see it a lot in this level. So for example, I'm coming up to a long corridor here and I just don't get the strafe to work at all, and it just seems as if I'm really slowly walking down this corridor, and it really does make all the difference. So I would recommend you at least try and practice strafing before trying this level. So I just press every console here until I see a pop-up that says the experiment is shut down or the power has been turned off, and that's when you know you've done what you have to do in there. We don't actually have to go left now because I used the hatch to access the K7 Avenger, which was the experimental item we needed, and because we don't have to go in there, we cut out that annoying lift animation. There's like a lift you have to wait for, and there's no way of speeding that lift up. So the second experimental thing I just picked up there was the night vision sunglasses, or infrared, or I think they might be X-ray glasses. And there are two consoles in here. This scientist is completely useless, so all he does is set off the alarm. But you actually see I set it off by mistake. There are 4 to choose from, so just hit all of them until you power down the experiments. This guy actually will help you, so yeah, once he says please don't hurt me, I think there's a dialogue there where Joanna says turn off the experiments, and he does that, so that saves you some time. So you'll notice that this is the second cycle you need to make sure and get right. If you follow what I have done, you should reach this in time, and if you don't reach it in time, you may still get your target of 6 minutes 25, but you'll probably not do much better than that. This is kind of a unique level in that the laser grid pretty much holds off everyone from coming, especially if you're speedrunning. At this part you'll want to throw down a dragon in its secondary fire mode, because as soon as you hack this console, 2 people spawn in. So throw your dragon and go straight over and hack the console. And so that exploded there and killed the 2 guys that would have come in and killed me. I don't think you need to worry too much about getting their guns, because you have enough ammo. There's not too many enemies left at this stage, but still these guys with dragons can wipe you out pretty quickly. So I have seen speedruns where people just run past these guys, but you know, if you want to try that would be a more risky strategy. I just decide to hang back and take these guys out, because there's nothing worse than enemies coming from behind and shooting you, you know, because you don't have much time to shoot the guys in front. So there's 3 guys here, that's the 3 of them. Not too difficult to take out. This is the last experimental item you need, and from here on it's just a straight run to the end. A couple of guards actually do come here, and I don't know if they spawned in or they come from the laser grid, but I tried my best to take. I took one of them out, and I didn't want to waste any more time. At this part you can actually just run past these guns, and if they hit you in the back, if anything, that'll just speed you up. But again, I'm running really slowly because I'm not strafing properly here, so maybe you'll do it a little bit better. But that's how I got my time of 5 minutes and 5 seconds. But you don't need to get as good as that. You can just get the target time of 6 minutes 25 seconds, and as long as you follow my other target times, you're going to be on track to get the gold star. So what can go wrong in this level? Well, a lot can go wrong. I mean, I don't want to sound too dramatic, but this is I probably attempted this level about 30 times, and I guess the first thing you could say is that the bot cycles, you can get that wrong. I was on this is going to sound like a really silly thing to get wrong, but if you're using a battery powered controller, and I would recommend you use a battery powered one because I found it's much easier to strafe, but I was setting a really good time here, and I actually was ahead of the cleaning bot, which is unheard of for me. And just as I was exiting this little part, my battery powered controller died, and although the pause menu came up, I didn't want to risk it. I thought that may have affected my time, so I just had to start again. There's just nothing worse than setting a good time and then something silly like that happens. But messing up the bot cycle is a serious problem, and it may take a few times to get your head around the timings for it, and even then you may just find that you're a little bit slower to get out of certain parts. So a lot of times I've found the door just slammed in my face. I mean, sometimes you just got through the door in time. It's all to get the right balance between when to use the cam spy and when not to. There's a small part of improvising you'll probably need to do. Probably the most common thing after the messing up the bot cycle is death. You probably will get better at killing the enemies and learning where they are, but sometimes, like with any of the levels in Perfect Agent, you can just get instantly killed by the enemies. And this all depends on the guard animations. If you find you're dying a lot, I would just say stick at it. Maybe spend more time trying to kill the guards and try not to worry too much about your time. Your target time is pretty reasonable in this level, and there's enough time for you to hang back and take groups of enemies out if you need to. One final thing, and it is quite a small thing, but this maintenance hatch can sometimes be a bit of a pain to open. Just stand back from it a little bit, and you should get it to work. You'll get a feel for it when you're actually playing it. But I would recommend you use this hatch because the lift to let you access this area can add a lot of time onto your total time. The next level is DataDyne Central Extraction, and you can watch that by clicking on the video to the left. There is an individual crown for this level, and it's called Close Proximity, and you can watch that by clicking on the video to the right. If you'd like to support my channel, you can do this on my Patreon page by clicking the orange button below. For as little as $1 a month, you can get early access to any of my videos, and it would really help me out. Another way to stay in touch is through Twitter or my Google Plus page, or you can just subscribe for the next video. I hope this video helped you to speedrun this level.
Do you actually know what you're doing?